faithfully delivering value by interpreting great books worldwide. Hi, this is Sally with the Book Talk. Today, we're diving into the book Strategic Thinking, subtitled The Five Winning Strategies of Gates, Grove, and Jobs. Business success hinges on strategy, but MBA programs often push theoretical stuff. Not what real entrepreneurs use. Take Porter's competitive strategy. It's super detailed but flops in the market because you can't waste time on complex analyses. So how do entrepreneurs tackle strategy? The book's authors dedicated years to studying the cutthroat computer biz, zeroing in on legends like Andy Grove of Intel, Bill Gates of Microsoft, and Steve Jobs of Apple. The authors discovered that these big shots use 5 key strategies. Decide fast and tweak on the fly. There are 2 authors. One is David Yoffie from Harvard Business School, a longtime Intel board member who wrote the bestseller Judo Strategy. The other is Michael Cusimano, a professor at MIT Sloan School of Management.
The authors are convinced these 5 strategies are timeless wisdom that worked before and will keep working.
Now, I'll break down the book's key points using these 5 rules. Rule 5. Look ahead and think back. Rule 2. Go big, but don't risk it all. Rule 3. Create platforms and ecosystems, not just stuff. Rule 4. Use leverage and power, think judo and sumo. Rule 5. Build the team around personal strengths.
First up, Rule 1. Look forward, reason backward.
Tied into strategy, this becomes a solid, logical framework. Forward and backward thinking deals with time.
Strategy for companies is carving a winning route through time, past to future.
Why reason back and not just backward? Because looking back involves both history and your own strengths. Reasoning back is about grounding in your company's reality to find solutions. Einstein put it, to think big and see far, learn from history but don't get stuck in it. Looking forward and reasoning backward can't be separated. It's an iterative process of constant adjustment and refinement through mutual validation. This very interaction turns strategy into performance, comprising 4 interlocking levels that form an ascending spiral. The first level, looking forward, means envisioning the future, what the company aspires to become. Reasoning backward transforms that future vision into business strategy.
It answers what the company will pursue and what it won't.
This level of interaction, the central challenge is translating abstract visions into concrete strategic goals, like having a world travel dream needing a roadmap to become reality. So where do visions originate? Observing industry trends is step 1. Take IBM's original vertical model, handling everything from R&D to sales. Then came Moore's Law, proposed by Gordon Moore in 1965, stating transistors on integrated circuits double every 18 to 24 months, dramatically boosting computing power. After understanding this law, what did Grove conclude?
He believed vertical models would become obsolete since more transistors required massive economies of scale for chip production.
Grove predicted economies of scale would inevitably drive industry specialization, meaning chips, hardware, OS, applications, and distribution would become separate domains, each creating new leaders. Based on this, Grove made a bold move, focused solely on chips. Intel even required Intel Inside labeling to strengthen their brand. Looking forward. The second level of reasoning backward focuses on customers. Looking forward means examining customer needs. Reasoning backward answers, can I meet those needs? Everyone knows needs matter, but few identify the most crucial ones.
Henry Ford famously said, "If I'd asked customers what they wanted, they'd have said faster horses."
No one surpasses him in this regard. Steve Jobs. Whether it's the iPhone, iPod, iPad, App Store, or iCloud, every Apple product is an unprecedented innovation that defines industry standards upon launch and becomes mimicked by rivals. Pursuing ultimate user experience and blending technology with art is precisely Jobs' charm. He didn't just satisfy needs, he created them. After reviewing customer needs, next comes competitors. That's the third level. Market competition is everywhere, and the bigger and better the market, the fiercer the fight. The Rod 88. Assessing competitors means not just their current moves, but predicting future actions, then responding early to build barriers and lock in customers. For example, when IBM wanted to adopt Microsoft's DOS operating system early on, Gates set two strategies. One was exclusive installation rights for DOS, meaning IBM PCs couldn't use other systems. Microsoft was the sole supplier. Since IBM nearly monopolized the computer market back then, this effectively shut out other competitors' operating systems. Gates' other strategy targeted enterprise users. Charge high prices per installation or offer low prices for bulk deals. Through this bundling approach, customer numbers boomed, letting Microsoft ride the PC boom. The fourth level of looking forward and reasoning backward deals with industry cycles. No sector keeps rising forever. There'll always be ups and downs. The turning point between peaks and valleys is what Grove called a strategic inflection point. In tech and computing, these inflection points often stem from tech revolutions, happening faster and faster. Once they hit, they can topple empires overnight. Think Kodak cameras or Nokia phones. That's how they ended up. So, looking forward means spotting not just small opportunities, but big trends too. At times like this, Microsoft's founder Bill Gates would carve out days to hole up, study trends, and plan countermoves. Gates called this period Think Week. Simply put, it means both keeping your head down to hustle and looking up to navigate. To recap the first strategic rule, look forward, reason backward, covering 4 levels. Vision, customers, competitors, trends, then circle back to find your path. Now let's cover the second strategy rule. Bet big, but don't bet the company. Sounds like common sense, but it's crucial. And think about it, why do serious gamblers usually end up badly? Because they lose their heads and gamble away everything they've got.
Strategists are different.
A strategist's gamble blends guts and brains. Spotting a golden opportunity means going all in decisively while managing risks and adapting fast. Like Jim Collins, author of the business classic Built to Last, said, "Exceptional leaders set audacious goals." Grove, Gates, and Jobs are prime examples of this. Grove even wrote a book titled Only the Paranoid Survive. True business leaders are fiercely ambitious. They dare to play where others won't. So how do you balance bold bets with risk control? These 3 giants share approaches. First, place big bets to change the game. Business is a multiplayer strategy game. It's about muscle and smarts. To shift the entire game, where should you place your bets? 3 areas are most reliable. New tech, market share, and industry structure. Use tech for product edge, market share for dominance, then reshape the landscape. These 3 connect tightly. Take Gates's biggest gamble, cutting ties with IBM in 1990. They'd partnered since 1981. Microsoft started with IBM's help. A decade later, IBM ruled computing. Ending the partnership risked Microsoft being crushed. So why did Gates pull the plug?
Because Microsoft had a secret weapon, Windows 3.0, the most advanced OS then.
Plus, third-party devs built hundreds of Windows apps, dominating the PC market in under 2 years. 5 years later, Windows 95 monopolized the market, while DOS, custom-made for IBM, faded out. Second, set a bottom line. Never risk the company. Bigger bets mean higher risks, mainly from long payback periods, like cash drying up or competitors stealing your market. Is there a way to mitigate risks?
First, time your bets. Gambling requires capital. Don't double down when broke or when returns are distant.
Second, diversify risks. Don't cling to one option. Split big investments into phases to protect your core. For instance, when Grove committed to focusing on chips, it wasn't overnight, it took years. In 1980, Intel's flagship chip was the 8088, mainly produced by 12 manufacturers. These manufacturers not only got paid, but also took the customers. They delivered directly to end clients like IBM, causing huge losses for Intel as the developer. In 1982, Intel launched the 286 chip, cutting manufacturers to 4. By 1986, with the 386 launch, Intel built its own factories, handling development, production, and sales.
They ran nationwide ads and required PC makers to stamp Intel inside on packaging for 486 and Pentium chips.
Intel's brand recognition then skyrocketed. Grove said by 1994, Intel ranked alongside Coca-Cola and Nike, a 15-year journey.
One last question. What if the bet fails?
No commander wins every battle, Grove, Gates, and Jobs included. Mistakes cost not just money, but reputation. So, before crisis hits, act decisively. Cut losses, apologize, recall, compensate, or shut down. Like when Intel's original Pentium processor had a flaw. Grove ran full-page apology ads in major U.S. papers and replaced every consumer's motherboard.
This $475 million effort restored consumer trust and diffused the crisis.
To recap Rule 2, get big but don't bet the company. The authors define 2 lines: bet boldly above, but never go all in below. Next, the 3rd rule, build platforms and ecosystems, beyond just products. These terms are now household names. But back in the 1980s, before the internet boom, Grove and Gates already saw the computer industry's potential. Grove divided it into 4 layers: hardware at the bottom, then operating systems, middleware, and applications at the top. Whether moving bottom up or top down, they'd eventually converge. So which path to take? This has been a major headache for businesses. On one hand, with so many potential ventures, which to pursue, which to drop. On the other, changes happen so fast that products might become obsolete before completion. Here, Intel, Microsoft, and Apple charted different courses. Path choices tie closely to 2 questions: products versus platforms, which comes first? And is closed or open better? Apple represents one extreme. For Jobs, crafting perfect products was paramount. To ensure user experience, they made everything themselves. Macintosh computers, iOS, iPhones, iPads, each product unmatched. Clearly, Jobs adopted an overall closed approach.
But as industries opened up, Jobs compromised, launching App Store to bring third-party apps into iOS, massively expanding Apple's ecosystem.
This strategy is called closed but not entirely for Apple. Conversely, Microsoft's approach was open but not relinquishing control. OS as foundation gains value when more builds atop it, starting with DOS. Microsoft partnered with IBM and others, trading low prices for market dominance, then targeting new markets to develop and sell independently. Office software, for instance, brought Microsoft enormous profits and users. If openness gained market share, not letting go meant profiting through monopoly. While Apple prioritized products and Microsoft platforms, Intel balanced both with openness. Grove mastered equilibrium and timely pivots. Simply put, the 3rd strategy rule addresses the interplay between products, platforms, and ecosystems. Intel, Microsoft, and Apple show no great products, no platform, no integrated platform, no ecosystem. Next, Rule 4. Use leverage and power to play judo and sumo, flexibly competing based on context and capabilities. Market competition usually splits into 2 scenarios. When weak, use judo tactics to overcome stronger foes. When strong, use sumo tactics to crush opponents with overwhelming force. Might sound like jungle rules, unethical even, but business is war, life or death struggles daily. Leaders like Grove, Gates, and Jobs were ruthlessly pragmatic generals.
The book describes them as brilliant strategists, win-at-all-cost competitors, cunning tacticians, judo sumo masters.
Most crucial was their win-at-all-cost mentality through judo or sumo tactics. How? Simply, start with judo, leverage others to grow, then switch to sumo, exploiting advantages even through bullying. Judo's essence? 3 keys: low-key, stealth, lock-in. Against giants, stay low-key, puppy tactic to lower guard, hide intentions, use misdirection, all to lock opponents in. Like Jobs, proud as he was, selling grand visions to music companies for iTunes while standing on giants' shoulders. He offered sweet, secure deals, making them willingly surrender music rights.
Meanwhile, Sony confronted music companies over MP3s. Result? Sony got 2% market share. Apple took 60%.
This love-hate game resembles a marriage of convenience, harmonious publicly, privately scheming. Why the two-facedness? Because breaking up benefits nobody. Staying together at least offers shared games. But these marriages of convenience easily break once one party sees a chance to go solo. They bail without hesitation. Take 1995, when Windows 95 totally dominated the OS scene. Then the internet boom hit. Netscape's browser grabbed over 90% market share. Microsoft first embraced Netscape to ride the internet wave, then partnered with Java, the hottest web programming language then. But later, Microsoft developed IE independently, baked it into Windows, and dumped Netscape completely. Once powerful, giants like Microsoft, Apple, and Intel deploy sumo tactics, crushing rivals through acquisitions, threats, price wars, lawsuits, you name it. It all boils down to self-interest. Gain more, lose less. But don't overdo it. Chasing monopoly, these titans crossed lines, even breaking antitrust laws, and paid the price in court. Simply put, Rule 4, using leverage or power for judo or sumo, is about adapting tactics to circumstances. When small, find leverage to grow fast. When big, wield power to crush rivals and lock down dominance. Finally, Rule 5, shape the organization around personal strengths, focusing on founder-company dynamics. Grove, Gates, and Jobs prove one pattern. Founders imprint their DNA onto their companies. Gates, a tech genius, served as Microsoft's chief architect for nearly 30 years. Grove, a chemical engineer, injected Intel with rigorous discipline and execution culture. Jobs' obsessive product control gave Apple its minimalist, elegant design ethos. But legendary founders alone can't build legendary companies. They recruit top talent to fill gaps and forge elite teams. Like Jobs hiring ops maestro Cook or Gates bringing in sales guru Ballmer. Grove hired production expert Barrett. They didn't just recruit talent with big money, but also tirelessly nurtured them. The computer industry is knowledge intensive. Only by following knowledge does money flow in. Simply put, the fifth strategy rule: shape the organization around personal strengths. It's actually broken into 3 steps. Step 1, fully leverage personal traits as the core to create a unique strategic position. Step 2, focus on the most critical areas, formulate strategies, and set execution standards. Step 3, build a strong leadership team and think tank. Step 3, build a strong leadership team and think tank, and actively seek top talent to shape organizational capabilities and culture. With that, we've covered all 5 strategy rules. One question: what's the relationship between them? Both authors are strategy professors. They must have arranged the 5 rules based on strategic logic. Rule 1, look forward, reason backward, is about strategic insight, solving how to go from company vision to strategic goals. Rule 2, bet big but don't bet the company, is about investment, balancing revenue targets with risk control. Rule 3, build platforms and ecosystems, not just products, is about the model, solving how to achieve scale advantages. Rule 4, use leverage and power to play judo and sumo, is about tactics, solving how to win. Rule 5, shape the organization around personal strengths, is about the organization, solving how to shift from boss-driven to system-driven. Do you see it? The 5 strategy rules form a relatively complete strategic framework. Strategic insight, resource investment, business model, competitive tactics, and organizational capability build on each other, all essential. To validate their effectiveness, the book cites cases from internet giants like Google's Larry Page, Facebook's Zuckerberg, Amazon's Bezos, and Tencent's Ma Teng. This shows that despite changing times, the strategy rules remain the same. Before wrapping up, one last question. What are this book's shortcomings? Though it's easy to understand and has many highlights, it also has some issues. For example, Rule 4 on judo and sumo tactics suggests not fearing bullying and doing whatever it takes to crush opponents, which could involve unfair competition. For example, Microsoft faced antitrust lawsuits in multiple countries over unfair competition. Still, these flaws don't overshadow its merits as an entry-level practical strategy guide. This book offers tremendous value. That concludes our exploration of strategic thinking. Reading notes are below the audio. See you next time.